Hey, good morning, everyone. What is happening? I hope you guys are having a good day so far. And today we're going to react, and discuss a bit about one of the most prominent esports games that has been around for a while, which is Counter Strike. So, this is not news anymore. As you can see on the screen, also, Counter Strike, Counter Strike 2 was announced some time back. Um, not sure how long ago. I mean, it was quite recent with the announcement of the game, and you know, they've already released more like an alpha version for esports players to get hands-on experience, check it out, and stuff like that. And they've also released three videos talking about its. I've already checked out one, but we will go through it again. So talking about certain features, what's new, what are they doing to, what what are they bringing more to the Counter Strike scene. So first, I think we need to talk about Counter Strike itself. So esports gaming has been there for a while. It started. I mean, if I can, if my research is right, um, it has started in the 1950s, in the small like tic tac toe type those type games, like small, really small games, and then moving on to the 80s era where they had the arcade games, and then in the 90s is when the esports itself slowly started to take shape and properly be a sport. So then you get games like Quake, Unreal Tournament, what was that game? The one Starfield, was it Starfield? Starfire? I don't, oh my god, I can't. Starcraft, yes, Starcraft. So Starcraft, the early games. And in the midst of all that, in uh, kind of like in the early late 1999, in the 90s, but early 2000s. So that is when Counter Strike first came out, which was actually developed as a mod initially for Half Life, right? So the original game, Half Life by Valve. So I can't remember the history surrounding around the mod, but someone made a mod. Was it someone or was it Valve itself? Uh, I think some, was it a mod? I mean, like, it was a mod, but I can't remember who was responsible for the mod. So it was like a mod for the Half Life game, which then took on a shape of its own, and then came as Counter Strike. And I think Counter Strike properly became uh, a proper esport. Like, it had its proper tournament. I think in, if I remember correctly, I saw something regarding somewhere in 2000, either one or two. Uh, so yeah, somewhere in the US. I can't remember where, but yeah, that was like the first Counter Strike tournament, uh, and that was like considered like the first major, I think. And yeah, I mean, like, since then, until like somewhere in 2003 or 4, I think 3, that was when they introduced the 1.6, like when Counter Strike was upgraded to 1.6. And that was basically known as Counter Strike. Like 1.6, Counter Strike 1.6 was the Counter Strike that everyone knew. That was the earliest Counter Strike that was played major that yeah, that was the Counter Strike version that was played majorly around the world in every tournament. And you know uh, when the whole world cyber game thing, when the whole world cyber games thing was there. So Counter Strike, competitive Counter Strike was properly competitive, and it was like included in, and then it had a string of majors. Then there were leagues, like ESL. There were so many leagues, and sponsors were also involved, and it grew from there. And then when uh, the age of streaming came also into the scene, like Twitch, YouTube, everything, like all the streaming stuff came. So then the popularity of Counter Strike blew, because I think it was struggling quite a bit early on because of the popularity, because it wasn't well received on Xbox, if I remember correctly, because like it was competing with the likes of Halo, Call of Duty at the time, and uh, but it was, I think, like, yeah. So but its popularity grew even more, and I think Counter Strike is much more popular um, globally, uh, compared to Halo and Call of Duty. I mean, like, they can be neck and neck with Call of Duty. I know global Call of Duty is huge globally. Counter Strike is also huge, but Call of Duty, like, you get so many games, Call of Duty games, so its popularity just keeps on, its popularity just keeps on, um, going. But Counter Strike, 1.6 Counter Strike, the Counter Strike 1.6 was there for like for quite a while. I think it was there for like a decade, until 2012, 11, 11 or 12. Can't remember the exact year. I think it might have been 12, when they finally released, CS:GO, which was like uh, the next big version of Counter Strike. I'm not sure why did they call it. Um, I'm not sure why did they call it Counter Strike 2, because at that time, because it was, what did Go stand for? Global Offensive. Yeah. So I have no idea, like, why they did not. Um, oh wait, no, I got it wrong. There was something before that. There was Counter Strike Source, right? Uh, right after 1.6, but I don't think it was well received. Can't remember what the issues were, because I did not play it. And then came CS:GO in somewhere in 2011, 2012, somewhere around then. CS:GO came into the scene, and then that blew, because it has so many things. Upgraded graphics, physics, like it was much better compared to how Counter Strike 1.6 was. Like it looked, it looked the part, right? It looked like a modern day game, because Counter Strike 1.6 was run through for a decade, and then Counter Strike 2 was there since, yeah, so basically 2011, 2012, that era, until 2023. So it was also there for another decade. So basically, they're running the game through an entire period, a decade. But they do introduce, you know updates throughout its period. But it does not. They don't introduce any new games. Unlike Call of Duty, you see new games come out into the scene. So yeah, I mean, so now Counter Strike 2. So this is a pivotal point, because Counter Strike, you get a new Counter Strike looking from the trend every decade. So by the next decade, so Counter Strike 2. Uh, so they've said we're going to get Counter Strike 2. So this is going to be the next big esports. This is what's going to take over Counter Strike Go. And so yeah, so I've seen a few gameplay. Game looks amazing. So what is different? What is different from Counter Strike Go? I'm pretty sure if you look at most of the pro scene players and their videos, you can get more in-depth knowledge. Uh, I'm not a very heavy Counter Strike player. But I am a kind of like a passionate spectator, like a fan of the game. I have played it competitively. I mean, like, I've dabbled in a few like small tournaments, fine, like a really small tournaments, but I'm nowhere close to anywhere to the actual pro scene globally. Uh, but yeah, I do like the game. Like, this is a piece of history in terms of games, and in terms of games as a whole, and esports. So this is a good piece of this game is a good piece of history. Um, so yeah, without wasting any more time, let me just take a quick bite from my cereal. Oh good, oh good. So without wasting any time, we'll check each of these videos. I have not seen the two uh, the two afterwards. So we'll check responsive smokes again, and we will uh, we'll we'll take a look at the video and talk through it if we and just have a small discussion about it. Yeah, at the same time.
In a Counter-Strike match, information can mean the difference between success or failure. As a result, smoke grenades have become a cornerstone of team tactics. With Counter-Strike 2's new game engine, we've evolved smokes and made them dynamic. Smoke grenades now create volumetric 3D objects that live in the world. Now, not only do all players see the same smoke regardless of position, but the smoke can interact with the environment in interesting ways. It reacts to lighting, grows to fill spaces naturally.
That's crazy.
The shape of the smoke cloud can be pushed and carved by bullets.
That is crazy. That is
In Counter-Strike 2, smoke grenades
That is
provide
crazy.
even more tactical opportunities. They're just going to look and play better.
amazing, amazing. Coming summer of 2023. So in a couple of months' time. So yeah, I mean like that is crazy. I mean like I also noticed that there's a taser gun. I think it was right here.
Play
Like he was holding it somewhere here.
nades.
Okay, first let's talk about the smoke, right? I mean like before in Counter Strike, as you know, you throw pop a smoke, you can't say anything, nothing happens to the smoke. It has its fixed area of dispersion, and then you basically can't see anything to the smoke. You just shoot. You have I think you can see the light from the firing of the gun. I think you can see that. I think you can see that. But uh, okay, hang on a second. I need to take a quick call. Oh my god. Hello. Hello, good morning, Tati. All right, back. Sorry about that. We will cut this part out. This entire part out. So what were we talking about? Where were we? I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, we were talking about the smoke physics. So yeah. So as you guys know, all Counter Strike smoke. It's like sort of like a fixed. I can't remember if there were later updates or not because towards the latter stages of Counter Strike, I wasn't didn't look too much into it. But a fixed dispersion smoke is there. I think you can see you can see the firing of the gun when you're close by. You can't see anyone running through it. Only when you're next to each other. So it's like uh, it's I mean like it was performing its duty, but I guess now with this, you know, basically air can be dispersed, the smoke can be sort of like dispersed away when you shoot through it, uh, which is uh, which actually brings up a whole new you know sort of like tech to this, much more. So it's not like you can simply smoke and then run through it or plant or whatever, which is but a lot of FPS games, FPS multiplayer games do, like Siege and Siege, Call of Duty. Pop smoke, plant. If you're planting bombs, plant or do something. So run through the smoke or run across. So now you can, as you can see, like you can toss a grenade, disperse the smoke for a short while to create an opening. So you can do. So there's a whole lot more that's going to be involved. I'm not sure if this is going to like if people will stop using smokes as a whole, like if this will discourage people from using smokes as a whole. I mean, like it does. Like looking at this, what people are gonna do first thing, at least like I don't think all the pro players will do, but casual lobbies, like people playing for fun and all that. What is going to be like the minute you see smoke, everyone's going to shoot through it. So basically, the smoke's not there. You can just see the other side quickly. So or just chuck a grenade as soon as you see it to eliminate the smoke. So your op can take a quick shot, as shown in this. So maybe I mean like it might reduce the use of smoke because back then uh, you start off a CS match, everyone just chucks. They just start chucking grenades and smokes and molotovs, very strategically so that it falls on the enemy side, or through the pass they're trying to get through and cut off certain areas, sections, or make sure they can't, you know, um, they can't use certain angles or different things like this. So I'm not sure how this is going to affect it. So I mean, like I guess you can use smoke as I think I think looking at this, it's going to be more for like a distraction tool because instantly you're going to think like someone is going to try go through there and you know and now you can just shoot and just see, so everyone is going to be like ready to like clear it, or maybe they're going to waste a grenade there to clear the smoke when they could have used it elsewhere. So yeah, this is going to bring some whole like a whole new level of tactics and a whole new level of thing. I am excited for this. I would like I should check out some proper uh, you know um, pro players. I think there should be a few videos of people playing it, so should probably check it out and see what are they doing with it, revolving around the smoke. The other thing is always I'm not sure. Somewhere here, so we have the M4 with silencer, bomb plant. Yeah, that. I'm not sure if I can. Did I go too far? Yeah, that part. Okay, I'm not gonna find a game because it's so hard to stop. I mean, like I'm not using a. Because it's on the PS5, because it's the YouTube app on PS5. It's very hard to like control it. So yeah, that part, the taser. I can't remember. I'm not sure if CS:GO had a taser. I might be mistaken because I have not been paying much attention. Because I can't remember a taser ever being there. So they have a taser here. I'm not sure what they're going to use a taser for, but they have a taser here. So I'm guessing CS Counter Strike 2 is going to be exactly like Counter Strike Global Offensive. So just I mean, like, are they using the same maps? This looks like the same maps. Uh, I mean, like the most iconic map I can think of is Dust 2. So if I see Dust 2, then it's going to be the same map. Okay, so let's look at the next one, leveling up the world.
With over 20 years of history, maps are a fundamental pillar of Counter-Strike. And in Counter-Strike 2, maps are getting a new look. But don't worry, you can still bring along your countless hours honing strategies and exploiting every corner and crevice.
Okay, so they're bringing the same maps.
To improving maps while retaining their rich legacy. First, there are touchstone maps. Classic maps with solid foundations that players can use to evaluate gameplay changes from CS:GO to Counter-Strike 2. These have improvements to lighting and character read, but otherwise haven't been changed.
Okay, so they've just given it a facelift.
Next, we have upgrades. These are maps that use new Source 2 lighting, including a physically based rendering system that produces realistic materials, lighting, and reflections. And finally, overhauls. The oldest maps have been fully rebuilt from the ground up, leveraging all of the Source 2 tools and rendering features. These tools will be available for community map makers to make it easier to build, experiment, and iterate. with upgrades to lighting, player read, and materials in Counter-Strike 2. Even the familiar will feel brand new.
Okay, so basically, that was just all about maps. So they're pretty much, um, like the pretty much like the mostly I think used ones in tournaments. I don't think they have changed it. They've just given it a facelift, improved the textures, the look and feel. They might have added a few things here and there, like a barrel or two, or some random stuff here and there, but they have not changed the map as a whole. And some of the older maps, I can't even remember a lot of the maps. Like I remember Dust 2, then what was it, Factory or Industry? That was so long ago. So yeah, um, so yeah, I mean, like they've given an overhaul to some of the much older maps. Uh, I mean, like that makes sense because it's not used. I mean, like there wasn't much to look into it. Like we already knew that they were giving a facelift pretty much to the entire game. So okay, what's the last one? Moving beyond tick rate.
Counter-Strike is known for its visceral and satisfying gunplay. Now, firing a weapon looks pretty simple. You click your mouse, your character shoots, your target takes damage. But there's a lot more happening behind the scenes. In previous versions of Counter-Strike, the game only evaluated moving and shooting in discrete time intervals, or ticks, and time between those ticks didn't exist. For the most part, the experience was seamless. But sometimes those milliseconds between click and tick could be the difference between landing or missing your shot.
Oh, I see.
That's why with Counter-Strike 2, we're introducing sub-tick updates. Now the tick rate no longer matters for moving and shooting, so the server will know the exact moment you fired your shot, jumped your jump, or peeked your peek.
Right,
The
right.
server will calculate your precise actions between ticks. So what you see is what you get.
So basically, it's like less of a delay between inputs, less of a gap between inputs. So it's like feels almost simultaneous. Uh, I mean, it makes sense. But I don't think it was an issue a lot. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah. So there it is. Counter Strike in all its Counter Strike 2 in all its glory. Uh, amazing news for the pro scene. Amazing news for Counter Strike fans. Amazing news for Counter Strike, the community as a whole. This is like another pivotal point in esports. So it's going to be a new title, Counter Strike 2, from now on. I mean, like, I guess from now, I mean, like, once it comes out. So, yeah. I mean, like, amazing. Crazy stuff. I mean, like, we've got a new, like, so many things are being released. So many amazing things have been announced, released these days. Like, it's crazy, trying to react and trying to talk about all of this. But yeah, like I had to make a video about Counter Strike because like who does not know Counter Strike, right? Because when you think of shooters, like online multiplayer first person shooters, you automatically think Counter Strike. Like you think of Call of Duty and Halo and stuff as well, but you think of Counter Strike also because it was one of the it is an OG in that department. So yeah. So yeah, I guess that's all we have. Unless they have another video. No, they don't have anything else. That's all for now. If anything else is released, we'll be making a videos on those. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Do like, subscribe, turn on notifications if you want me. If you would like to. Thank you for some help. Thank you for your help in supporting the channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.